Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of the FIDE Grand Prix 2022. Right, in Group A, Nakamura won a brilliant game against Andrei Isipenko. Let's go through the game right away. Okay, Nakamura went for the English with c4. Isipenko went for e5. Knight into c3, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6. Okay, so we have the 4 knights of the English here. 4 knights variation of the English. And then Nakamura played g3, d5, takes. Now we have this after bishop g2, the reverse accelerated dragon. It's white playing the dragon setup. Yep. And without d3, we call this the hyper-accelerated dragon from the white side. Okay, black went for bishop c5, that castles. An interesting queen c2 move here by Nakamura. Isipenko went back, knight f6. He was worried, for example, if let's say your bishop develops here, there's knight takes d5, yes. Queen attacks the bishop, and if your queen protects, there's knight d5. Threatening mate, bishop's attacking queen. Okay, that's probably the reason why knight f6 was played, to protect the important h7 pawn and not allowing the discovered attack to the bishop and knight g5. Okay, let's continue. a3. Knight into d4, takes. An important intermediate move with d4. Bishop b6, probably this is the first, it's a slight mistake for black. The better place for the bishop is on e7 and keep the bishop here. Yep. Because with bishop b6, Nakamura instantly played knight a4, right? The bishop has no square to go. White will have 2 bishops. This pawn is a bit of a problem for black because the b4 pawn is stopping the c5 protection. That's why it was important to play that bishop back to e7, at least keeping the pair of bishops. Okay, so bishop b6, knight into a4, e8, takes the bishop, of course, that was planned. Takes e3, nice move. Without the dark square bishop, Nakamura exploits the dark square from a1 to h8. Exploitation of the dark squares. d3, queen c3, knight into e4, queen c4 first, bishop into f5, bishop b2. Okay, the knight cannot take the pawn. Okay, double attack, right? But there's a counter double attack as well with queen c3, threatening mate, the bishop here, and also the knight on b2. So after bishop to b2, queen goes to d7, a battery, threatening bishop h3. So bishop takes e4, takes a nice decentralized knight, and then f3. Okay, protecting also the light squares because black was threatening queen g4 to f3. Okay. Important, blocking the light squares. Counterplay from black. So bishop c6 or ac1, the half open or the semi-open file. c7 is the target. Rook into e7, protecting c7. Queen f4. f6, blocking the bishop. Rook c4, nice rook lift by Nakamura, threatening rook e4 to the queen. Rook d8, rook f c1. And keeping an eye on that pawn. This bishop now on c6 is very passive. Yeah, it restricts the bishop because if the bishop moves away, you have rook to c7. Now you have 3 pieces. Yeah, backing that c7 pawn. So queen into e6, d5. That's it. The target takes rook e4 first. All right, removing the defender of the 7th rank. Queen f7 takes. Rook takes c7, and then rook d7, rook c8 check, rook d8, and here Nakamura being Nakamura. A bolt out of the blue, right? Nakamura is so tactically gifted. And that's why he is winning all these Titan Tuesdays, Arena Kings. He's just a magician on the board. He sees tactics very fast, Nakamura. He doesn't miss, yeah? Just tactical melee on the chessboard. Yeah. G takes F6, Queen G4 check. Okay, this is interesting because the king has 1, 2, 3 squares to go. But any of those squares, the king can go H8, F8, F7, but wherever the king goes, white gets back a piece plus the pawn. Yeah. And look at the pawn structure here for black. Island pawns. White's pawns are connected. Well coordinated pawns. So Nakamura was doing some mopping up operations after this, yeah. King F8, rook takes D8. Taking D8, Queen D4 check, double attack on the king and the bishop. Now let's try to look at King H8. King H8 is not so obvious, yeah, but still King D4. The important protection of the pawn to the queen, yeah, because if you play Queen takes B4, Nakamura has rook takes D8 check first, an intermediate check. Yes, and if the king moves, of course the rook is more superior than the bishop. And if you play King F7, you have Queen H5, another double attack on the b pawn. Amazing, yeah. So it doesn't matter wherever the king goes, Nakamura will gain back the piece and so many pluses, yeah. Especially the pawns, yeah. After King F8, takes. Again, let's try to look at these pawns. They are not connected. Right. They're easy targets. So Queen takes B5, takes on A3, King F2. Okay, not allowing counterplay Queen F1 to Queen D2, right? Queen F1 to the king. A sense of danger. Queen C5 takes. Central pass pawn. Double pawn. Okay, white's only hope with D5. Queen C3. Nakamura was very smart. All right, offering the exchange of queens. He has an extra pawn and a bad pawn structure for black. Of course, black cannot take this one, right? After take, this king just goes to D2 or even E4, King E3, King D4, and then F4. This could not progress. This B5 and B7 one is no progress. Okay, so black went back for Queen E7. This is just prolonging his agony. It is already winning for white. The rest is just a matter of technique here. King G7, Queen D4, centralized queen. Queen into F7, Queen G4 check. King H8, Queen B4, nice. Queen into E8, Queen D6, threatening Queen F6. Queen F7, Queen C5. All right, attacking the pawn. Queen in 8 back. G4, nice move. King into G7. Okay, the queen is just so passive. Yeah, he cannot go D7, for example. This Queen F8 mate. Yeah, so it's a passive square for the queen. The pawns cannot move. This pawn is restricted. Amazing. And then H4, right? After Queen D7, H5. Okay, if let's say the queen moves back to E8 here, we have Queen C7. Check and then take. So King G8 was played, H6. And here, Isapenko resigned. And Nakamura got his first win. He had a draw in the first round. So he is leading Group A because first round it was all draws. Khrushchev also drew with back draw in the second round. So Nakamura is leading Group A. and that is boosting his chance of qualifying actually for the candidates, or winning Group A first, yeah, and we'll go to the next stage, the second stage, because the winners of each group will qualify for the second stage. This was a typical Nakamura game, yeah. That tactic on, if you go back, yeah, that bishop takes, started with bishop takes f6. This move. Nakamura is just a tactical genius. That's who he is. He's known for these tactics. He lost to Robson in the World Puzzle Battle, yeah, but he went into the finals. Yeah. So he is just so sharp, very sharp. If you want to play against Nakamura, better go for dry positions. Yeah, try just like Magnus Carlsen. Nakamura has a very bad record against Magnus because Magnus is smarter. Yeah, playing all those dry positions where Nakamura doesn't like. That's out of his character. Okay, when you're playing chess, it's not only about playing lines, but whatever your pet lines. It's not just about pet lines. It's also about knowing your opponent. If your opponent is a tactical player or an aggressive player, try to go for positional, yeah, close positions. Because if you look at this with bishop takes f6, okay, it wasn't obvious, but Nakamura being a genius, he just sees it fast. That's who he is. Okay, in Group B, Rapport also had a pretty good win against FIDE. Wesley Saw drew his game against Hare Krishna. So we're expecting an exciting round number 3 tomorrow. All right. So thanks for watching Charles Max Chess on our Facebook and YouTube. And thank you so much for all your support. And we will continue to cover this FIDE Grand Prix 2022 in the days to come. And this is Coach Oliver. I'm signing off. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.